Budget smartphones are abundant, and a lot of that is thanks to Amazon. Surprisingly, Amazon is a big player in this because of their Amazon Prime exclusive phones. What they do is they put ads on your lock screen, and in exchange, they sell you certain phones for cheaper prices. Last year, we took a look at two of them, and we were very impressed with what we got, especially when you look at the price point. This year, there's a follow-up in the $60 range. This has a lot to live up to, I have to admit, because the R1HD blew our minds with its performance, for the value especially. So if this doesn't live up to what the R1HD set, I would consider this a failure. So let's check this out. My name is Alex with Hypnotech, and this is our full review of the blue R1HD successor, the Alcatel A30. Alcatel is no stranger to the US market, with quality and affordable phones such as the A30 and 4. But the A30 takes us to the mass production level with the help of Amazon. This $60 phone has all the character traits of a traditional low-budget phone. It's made from plastic, feels light in the hand, and packs a rather weak Snapdragon 210 processor with 2GB of RAM. 16GB of storage is complemented with microSD card support to boot. From a software standpoint, although I run a launcher on almost all my phones, the skin on the A30 is pretty good as far as skins go. Things are near stock Android, and the fact that you have Android 7.0 Nougat right out of the box makes this an attractive budget device, especially since its main competitor, the R1HD, will never get the update without Lineage OS. Back to the budget trait thing we were talking about before, removable backs are basically an exclusive for low-priced devices in 2017. You can peel the back off the A30 to find the micro SD card slot, the nano SIM tray, and the 2460 mAh non-removable battery. Battery life is on the fringe of being average. I got 3 hours of screen on time, but the phone could last about 15 hours if I tread it carefully with just calls and casual browsing. Speaking of calls, the audio quality was good, better than some phones priced much higher. We don't talk much nowadays about phone call audio quality, but some phones do drop the ball there with muffled or soft reception. This $60 phone turned out fine there. The back of the phone has a grippy texture to it, kind of like sandpaper, that I do like, especially when it comes to budget phones. It makes the device stand out ever so slightly. Flip the phone over to the front and you get a single front-facing speaker alongside the 5-inch 720p IPS display, which gives you 294 ppi. That's, once again, right on the fringe of being average. And for those of you who are wondering, no Gorilla Glass, but you do have Dragon Trail Glass protecting the screen, which is basically the same thing. The display is quite true toned and delivers a good image whether you're viewing photos or watching videos. The colors in the screen seem a little dull to me, but I'm quite happy with the display here for $60. Now, regarding performance, I'm a bit disappointed. While I did like holding and using the phone in terms of form factor and hardware, the actual experience as a whole did not live up to my expectations when compared to last year's Amazon Prime $60 phone. Routine tasks I do on all my phones slowed down much more on the A30 than it did on the R1HD. That means longer page loading times and unusable multitasking, which in modern smartphone usage is essential. I'm okay with not using split screens as I rarely do that for any phone, but switching between recent apps just takes forever to reload an app. 2GB of RAM is sufficient enough to do that on the R1HD, but I didn't see the same performance here. There is a lot of bloatware from Amazon as expected, seeing as this is an Amazon ad phone. What does that mean to my overall opinion of the A30? I'll tell you next here on Hypnotech.
Hypnotech.
The last thing to talk about before we wrap this up is the camera. An 8-megapixel sensor occupies the rear that can shoot 720p video. That is accompanied by a 5-megapixel front camera. You're getting the bare bones minimum for camera features with decent shutter speed, which I think is usable. The interface is easy to use, and in optimal lighting, the photos come out actually okay. Nothing to write home about, obviously, but they are Instagrammable. The front camera is... it's blah. We get very soft focus and washed out colors taking selfies here. Once again, borderline acceptable. Alright, let's wrap this baby up. What do I think of the Alcatel A30? Well, I think I've made it pretty clear. I'm not a fan of it. I think you should skip this one. In terms of that $60 price range, the R1HD is still a superior phone to this in almost every way, except for two distinct things. Audio quality is better here because it is a front-facing speaker. And although the front-facing speaker isn't actually good, it's a front-facing speaker. And those of you who have used front-facing speakers, you know what I'm talking about. Any front-facing speaker is better than no front-facing speaker. And display quality, I would actually say that the display quality for what you're getting here is worth about $150 to $200. I've used phones in that price range with worse displays than what the $60 phone has given me. So I'm actually pretty happy with the display and the audio here. Performance and battery, though, is nowhere near what I got with the R1HD. And I think overall, build quality included, the R1HD is a much better package than what we're getting here for the A30. So R1HD is still out there on Amazon. You can still buy it. And if you're looking for a $60 smartphone, that one's the one to get, not this one. And I do want to note, too, that we can't use it's $60. What do you expect as an excuse anymore? Because the R1HD set the standard, set the bar. And I wanted to say that if this phone came out last year without the R1HD here, I would have said that this was actually a pretty darn good phone. For $60, go out and buy it because, you know, $60, this is the standard for $60. But because this came out after the R1HD, and I was so impressed with the R1HD, and I think the general consensus was that the R1HD was a really great bang for your buck phone that way over exceeded our expectations. It was always impossible for the A30 to match. So I highly recommend looking elsewhere for that $60 range. This is not the best phone for $60. And in a field where there really is only two competitors, the R1HD is a clear-cut better phone. So that's my recommendation. Once again, my name is Alex from SipNode Tech. Let me know what you think of the A30 if you've used it. If you've used the R1HD as well, you can actually get both of the phones and it'll be only like $120, $30 and you can test both of them out. It's actually really cheap. That's cheaper than getting a Moto G5. That's pretty crazy to think about, right? You can get two of these phones to play with for the price of one Moto G5. It's pretty insane. But let me know what you guys think, and I will see you guys in the next video.
If you like this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, hit the bell button below so that you don't miss a single video in the future. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!